It's going to be a little differently because I have not rehearsed this at all, but I've been thinking about, because we just started a Toastmaster group up at Champlain College, what would I do for an icebreaker speech up there? Because all of them know me. They've known me for years. And so I thought I would kind of share a family tradition, and unfortunately I didn't bring it with me, and this is one of the things I was going to do for my icebreaker speeches. Share a family tradition that we have of collecting silver charms. I actually have a charm bracelet at home, and it has all these little charms on it, and my mother's family started it as a tradition with her and her 3 sisters. They collected charms whenever they would go somewhere, or whenever there was a special occasion, they would collect these little sterling silver charms and they would put them on their charm bracelet. And as a little girl, I was fascinated by my mother's charm bracelet. I would look at it over and over again. She had an outhouse that you could actually open the door and you could see the little potty inside it. She had a toilet that the lid flipped up and open, which I thought those ones that actually moved were just the neatest things. She had a little pair of scissors, and she could tell me all the stories about how she got these. And I honestly don't remember why she had the outhouse or the toilet. But the scissors, she was very crafty in high school, and she actually thought about majoring in art when she went to college. So that was one of her things, and her whole family were into sewing their own clothes, and they were, it was back in the Depression, so they were trying to save money, so they sewed their own clothes and they made their own things, and that represented part of her life. And so she had all these kind of cool little trinkets that I used to look at. And then when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, for Christmas, I got my first silver bracelet. And my first charm was, I remember it was just a round charm, and it had a little pink stone in it, and it's for the month of June, which is when I was born. And that's my first charm. But over the years, I've collected some really cool charms. I have an old woman in the shoe. She actually the shoe pops open. It just kind of like flaps open, and you can see the little old woman and several children inside. And I got that at Storytown. That was one of my first that I ever bought for myself. And I have a sterling silver charm. Actually, I went kind of overboard when we went to Italy. I have one from Rome that's La Pieta, which is the carving of Michelangelo's carving of Mary holding Jesus after he was taken down from the cross. And I have the Ponte Vecchio from Florence, and I have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And these are all things I insisted that I was like, if I was going to get them, I was going to make sure that I saw these things. So I had seen all of these things. And the last one I got from Italy was a small, oh gosh, what's the name of the big structure in Rome where they used to fight?
Colosseum.
Colosseum, thank you. So I have one of the Colosseum. And so I look back at all of these bracelets. I now actually have 2 bracelets because I've got so many charms that I had to kind of move on to a second bracelet. But it's not only a nice way to remember all the places I've been, but it's also a nice way to carry on the tradition, because not only did my mother and her sisters do this, but they also loved to travel. Their father worked at the railroad, and so they, considering that they did not have a lot of money when they were young, they did a lot of traveling because they could travel for free because he worked on the railroad. They got free tickets. So they would go to New York City for the World's Fair, and they went to Boston, and they went to Washington. So for being back in the, probably 30s and early 40s, they were quite well traveled. And they knew, one of my sisters one of my aunts is a teacher. And so they also believed that travel was a good way of learning. It was a good way of teaching different lessons. So they were very big believers of travel. And so this silver bracelet is not just a connection of me with my family traditions, but it's also their beliefs of traveling is learning. And I promise that I will bring in the bracelets so that you can see them some point, so you can see all the little things that I've collected. Thank you.